One's good, one's bad, yeah, they're really always like this. We don't know who's who, but at least we know who Mike is. They love to complain, they go sports on the brain, and they frequently drive each other insane. It's the good and the bad and the Mike. The good and the bad and the Mike. The good and the bad and the Mike. It's the good and the bad and the Mike.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Good, the Bad and the Mike. I'm Oisín, that's Cian.
Hello.
And that's Mike.
Hello.
Bit of housekeeping before we get started. We just want to apologise for the poor audio quality from some of our hosts last week. We had to use alternative measures. So,
I feel like my quality is also.
Yeah, Cian's quality wasn't great, so it wasn't.
I got away with it because my quality also wasn't great.
Yeah, I got away with it because I don't have to. My audio just goes straight into
quality.
my mic, so there was no difference to what I was doing.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, so we just had to apologise for that. Cian's, to be fair, wasn't as bad as calling in from the fucking middle of nowhere.
And the tables have turned.
It's good. Yeah, it's good to have you back now, not on your phone call, Mike. That's nice.
Feels good. Feels good not to phone this one in, to be honest.
Another bit of housekeeping is that hopefully this weekend we'll be coming to you from London.
Right.
If we can figure out how to actually record it while we're over there. So, it may or may not happen. I mean, we'll be there. Whether we'll record it while we're there or after we come back it remains to be seen.
That's it.
But
For safety reasons, we cannot give you the location of the pod in case of stampedes and crowds.
Yeah, because everyone's just dying to see us. We're actually going to host a live show at a comedy club while we're over there.
Have a meet and greet. Before the game.
Free hats.
So hopefully we'll be able to do it while we're over there. Kind of, I would assume if we're doing it while we're over there, we'd do it after the game on Sunday.
Most likely, that would make the most amount of sense.
It would, and we could, yeah, looking forward to that. I'm
Show
actually
game outside the stadium.
buzzing for that game. Like,
Cannot wait.
it's going to be so fucking
No,
hype.
just confirm,
Two
what
shit
team are we
teams.
supporting? Yeah, what team are we supporting?
I don't know if I can support the Jags.
Oh yeah, I
anymore.
can't support the Jags who are on a 20-game losing streak.
I will be purely rooted with the Jags.
That's fair. What's the Dolphins' record this season?
Shit.
They're
Dolphins
one
record
and
is shit.
I think it's
Yeah.
1-4, isn't it?
That's
Yeah, 1-4.
maybe.
Well,
They beat
I'm
you?
head of the
Yeah, they're
Dolphins.
1-4.
Yeah, I'm looking at it
Yeah.
here. They beat. Patriots suck.
We won't talk about it. We won, and that's it. We move on.
I didn't realize they lost 35-0 to the Bills. Do you think they were watching that Bills-Texans game where the
No,
Bills
that
won
was
41-0?
That was the one where Tua got hurt.
Yeah. But do
Yeah.
you think they were watching the Bills-Texans game and going, they're even worse than we are?
Maybe.
It'll be nice to see if Tua gets back. We're going to see Tua's return.
He is,
I like to
as
think-
far as I know, due back.
Yeah, that's.
N-
They
next
say he
week.
might be back, so that'd be cool.
I like to think that the Dolphins players, instead of doing that, were just saying, maybe we should have drafted Herbert. Maybe.
That Herbert fella looks pretty good.
He'd be looking alright.
Apparently Tua is throwing in training, so Brian Flores is hopeful he'll be back this week. I fucking hope he is back this week because I'd like to see him. I don't. Who is their backup? Actually,
Jacoby.
Brissett.
Oh
Brissett.
yeah. He's not been doing well though. I'd like to see Tua though. But yeah, fingers crossed we can record the pod
in London.
bring it to you from London, and yeah, either way, I'm buzzing for that game. Just the whole experience.
I know. It's
It looked like watching the
just to
watching the the Jets Falcons game. Like the atmosphere looked insane.
How? Because I watched like I'd say about a quarter of it. I need to go back and check what the stadium. Are they just filling out the stadium, or is it like under full capacity? Do we
No,
know?
it looked pretty
It looked-
full.
Yeah, it looked pretty
Ooh.
full.
That'll be fun.
Because I think they are at capacity for Premier League games anyway.
Did not think
I think they are. No, maybe no. I
they were
think
doing
they
that,
are.
but yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna double check. But I think they are at capacity for the Premier League games.
It would make
Um,
sense. Well, it wouldn't, but it's the kind of thing they would do.
Yeah, full capacity for the London games.
It was like at the start of the NFL season, and they were like, "What kind of capacity will we put on the stadiums?" I know. We'll let each team pick their own capacity. And I was like, that's a terrible way to do it.
Yeah, that was
That is-
stupid.
So bad.
Yeah.
But yeah. So,
How much money do you want to make this?
excuse me, I'd like to make all the money.
Sure. Lots.
Okay then.
Oh, no, I don't want to make that much money. Let's only go half.
Hey.
Anyway, that's all. I think that's all the housekeeping I had.
Yeah.
Grant,
Yes.
in that case, let's just jump straight into the news. Mike, you go first.
Okay, back by popular demand, Polish sports update. Poland's football team beat San Marino 5-0.
Oh, that's
you'd love to see it.
yeah, that's big win there. Yeah,
That's it. Lewandowski didn't score.
well, that is a shock.
How?
What's he playing now?
How could he not score?
So here's just some of the stats I saw. So in the 90 minutes, finished 5-0. San Marino had 2 shots, 1 on target. Poland had 31, 12 on target.
Solid. Did they score a last minute goal as well? Did I see that?
They did. 91st minute. The
Yeah,
ref was such a
already
scumbag.
dead.
The ref was such a scumbag. He added minutes on.
Oh, one of them was an own goal as well.
Yes.
Ah,
Was that the game where they had like a 40-something-year-old playing right back?
I have.
I was
I
good
actually
this
don't
year in the
know.
week.
Is
Someone
it-
had a 40-something-year-old playing. Oh no, that may be whoever Ireland were playing, Azerbaijan, and they had like a 40-something-year-old playing right back. It's like it's not okay to have them being abused as much. I don't know.
Fair. San Marino's right back was only 27, to be fair.
Okay, probably wasn't him then.
Yeah, I would assume not.
Stephen Kenny
completely
got his first
misread
career
who he
win.
played for as well. I thought it said Juventus, but actually it says
Ooh.
Juventus/Dogana.
It's a little Juventus. Shut up.
They're just
We
missing
have-
the T.
Bob one, I want to see Juventus at home.
Yeah, we have Juventus now.
Why is it 2 team names in one though? Why is it AC Juventus/Dogana?
So they can say which came first and which is more likely, Juventus or us, who add expensive Lugana.
Then.
They're not having a great season. They're 3 losses out of 3 games in the San Marino League.
I just feel like O'Shea's just got his new football manager team sorted.
Oh,
I don't
wish.
even know if they're in it. Where's the
I'm
San
pretty
Marino
sure you
League?
can. I'm pretty sure you can bring the San Marino League in.
I'd be surprised. Yeah, like I assume people made databases for it. Yeah.
I think it might actually just be in the game, anyway.
Oh, that's intriguing. I
Um,
wouldn't mind trying a save in some terrible league just to see how that goes. But I'm in the League of Ireland, I suppose, in my current save.
Oh,
Controversial.
absolutely
Controversial.
savage. I mean, we don't like those kind of
Didn't
takes
even
around
set
here.
that one up. That's just what happened when I was like
No, that's absolutely shocking, and
started rambling.
I think I don't know.
Once
I'm not a
again,
fan of those kind of takes.
I need to remind the audience, Key does not represent the thought process of the entire group.
I mean, yeah, this is actually the most in 10 years I've actually followed the League of Ireland. I do get weekly updates on my Facebook about how Finn Harps have done their most recent game. And because I keep looking at them, they keep sending more.
Ah, that's what you like to see.
Mm.
All right. Let's move on. Cian, what news have you got?
Big news there over the weekend. We had which I didn't watch, but apparently was the absolute slugfest of the year, with I think both of them being knocked down at least once, and then Tyson Fury finished him off in the 11th. So big ups to Tyson Fury now. He's I can't remember what the split is, but I know there's him and I think Derek Chisora. Between the two of them have the split of the heavyweight belts, but I can't remember which ones he has. So that was, quite
Good
big.
for him.
Yeah.
I
I'm not the biggest
saw
boxing fan, but
I saw one clip of it, and just it was Tyson
he does appear to be
hitting
good at it.
Wilder, and Wilder just looked like he could barely stand anymore. I'd say it was like you were saying the 11th round. I'd say it was close to the end. Was the clip I saw, because they both looked fucking exhausted.
Yeah. Fair. So I think it was Wilder who the last time. I think no, it was the draw. It must have been the draw that they had. That he was blaming the massive suit that he had on in the warm up when they
That
walk
was the
out.
loss. That was the
No, but there's no
he had.
loss is the thing. So maybe it
Did he
wasn't
not
Wilder.
lose? No, he lost.
They drew. Oh
third
no,
one.
wait, yes, because I'm looking at this from
Yeah,
Fury's point of view. It's
the
a win
second
on
one.
his.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, you're right. Where he came out in a fucking massive thing, which just like I can see why you do it. It's frightening, but yeah, like it just looked so heavy. It was a terrible idea. So I don't think he
he would have had an advantage if he kept it on. To be fair, though.
did that the last a lot longer.
Yeah, might have held up in the end game.
Yeah.
Later rounds.
Let's see, what have I got for news? All right, the Ballon d'Or 2021 nominees have been announced. Some big names.
Both.
Obviously, the expected ones. It's the list of 30 nominees. So obviously it's the expected: De Bruyne, Ronaldo, Fernandes, Messi, Mbappe, Haaland, Neymar, Salah, Cesar Azpilicueta.
Mhm.
All the top names in football at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
slightly surprised at like one or two of them though. Like Riyad
I mean-
Mahrez got in. I mean, he's had a good.
I
I
suppose.
can't remember how good
it's
he
usually-
was during the year. For
Yeah, I guess
City.
it's a case of if he has a good Champions League run,
Yeah,
they kind of put them in. But
I just don't remember him
I
doing all
did
that
see
much.
the list, and you were saying to me earlier that it was in alphabetical order except for a few.
It's so irritating. They
So
have,
if you say the list again there.
So they have there's two that aren't in alphabetical order, and Cristiano Ronaldo isn't, because for all of them they've taken their surnames, but
Yeah.
for him they took his first name. And then the other one is that the list at one point goes Harry Kane, N'Golo Kante, Simon Kjaer, Cesar Azpilicueta, Robert Lewandowski, and then back into the L's and M's.
Okay, I think I know.
Azpilicueta's out of nowhere.
That's exactly why I think they did it. They were just like, oh yeah, we got the Ballon d'Or, and he's the controversial pick. It's like, we got Harry Kane, Salah, Cristiano, Cesar Azpilicueta, Mbappe. Like, did you say Azpilicueta? No.
No, is it? No. No,
Yeah,
exactly that.
that's what because if you start off, Ballon d'Or list, starting off, Cesar Azpilicueta, you're like, oh, that's not really a high bar to set here, is it?
I mean,
I do
I see
enjoy
why
the
they brought him
political
down.
voting of it. The Ballon d'Or's political voting, where you get random countries
it's done really
voting for
weird.
random players.
It's done with great
Is it?
strange.
Yeah,
It's what? It's captains, managers, and select
and
journalists, isn't it?
like one
I think
journalist
so,
for each
yeah.
country. Yeah,
But I don't remember Azpilicueta having.
It
I
is
don't remember
weird that,
his season last year being that incredible.
It's
the
It's
Ballon
because
d'Or is
Chelsea
calendar
won the
year,
Premier
isn't it?
League, so
The Champions League.
they won the Champions League. And Spain made it all the way to the semis of the Euro. So it's kind of a, all right. He's in the team. He should do well. Like, was it Jorginho made the point that he won the Champions League and the European Championship, and he should win the Ballon d'Or as he was the most successful, one of the most successful players in
mean,
Europe.
He's in the nominees.
Yeah.
Actually, Chelsea have a number of
mm.
players in the nominees. With, I mean, does Lukaku count because he's only just joined? But Azpilicueta, Jorginho,
No.
Kante, Mason Mount made it into the top 30.
Fair play.
Good for you, Mason.
that's all they have. Just those four. Just those
Yeah.
four.
Well,
top
the
teams.
30s.
You know,
That's it.
like that. I think that's how many City have as well. De Bruyne, Ruben Diaz, Phil Foden. No, they have more. Phil Foden, Riyad Mahrez, and Raheem Sterling.
Ruben Diaz not make it?
Ruben Diaz did make it, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Oh, is Pedri?
Yeah.
No, Pedri's. I can't remember if Pedri's a City player. I feel bad about
Is
it
Pedri
now.
not? Pedri's
No.
not a City player. Is he not?
No,
like,
I don't think so. But I just
I,
can't.
I don't think so. Is he not with like?
No, he's with
Real.
Barcelona.
Oh yes.
Oh, I
Yeah,
wanted
I've-
to say that, but I didn't want to stick my neck out there.
To be fair, Keane, I fucking said he was a City player, and he's
Yeah.
he's nowhere near.
Not even close. Not even the same country.
Yeah, so like you could have gone for it, kid. You could have gone for it.
It's not like he plays for the Giants of FC Sheriff.
I know. If like, I'd be very, very surprised if a lot of those FC Sheriff Tiraspol players aren't playing in Newcastle post Christmas.
Oh, man.
That's not the dream team.
Yeah.
No, surely they'll stay at Sheriff Tiraspol to win the Champions League and then go to Newcastle.
Obviously.
It depends on how much money these lads are coming in with. It could be very, very appealing.
I mean, I did put money on Sheriff to win the Champions League and beat. So,
I see you've a vested interest.
hey, if it happens, I'll be pretty fucking happy about it. If they go undefeated, like, I mean, they're 2 wins in a row. If they go undefeated the whole campaign, could you imagine?
Even I don't think that would happen, but it'd be
Could you imagine, though?
cool.
That'd be incredible.
Oh, it would be.
They just have to beat Inter this week. No, not this week.
They'll be making a film
It's
out of it.
Next
international
week.
Football. Next week.
Next week.
Yes. Anyway, let's move on from. It's a fucking joke that there's no Sheriff Tiraspol players in the top 30 nominees.
I agree.
Absolute joke.
Absolute joke. But anyway, let's move on from the Ballon d'Or nominees. Mike, what else you got for us?
So it was a funny piece of a commentary I saw. Now, obviously with the NFL being in London, I guess Sky were, promoting a bit more. But in England's win, Roy Keane said something about Phil Foden. I'm just going to read the quote out, and I found it really funny. So here's his quote. I love my American football, and Foden has been like a top quarterback. He's been like Tom Brady. He's just picking people out. He's got runners, and he's got wide receivers. He's making it look so easy. Didn't see Roy Keane as an American football fan.
No,
me
I
neither.
feel like somebody definitely. Maybe he is now.
someone
because
wrote that for him.
all the American people are getting interested in him after
Oh, because of Ted Lasso and Roy Kent.
that TV show that they called Roy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe he's like, all right, this is him working on his brand and trying to go stateside.
Stateside with Keane. Now that's a show I'd watch.
Hey, if we could get funding for that, I would 100% do that. Like, come on now, that'd be fun.
Roy Keane's
Yeah.
going to be bigger than the Beatles.
You know what? I would love if Roy Keane was a pundit on the NFL. Was just talking like, "What are you doing? Just run the ball.
Yeah,
Just run the ball.
just run the ball. It's easy.
It's just
What's he
a
going like
first
that
down.
there for?
Yeah.
He shouldn't be going down like that. He's got 2 hands. He should use
Yeah.
them. Didn't catch that. No,
Didn't catch that.
That's why he didn't catch that.
At the end of the day, he should be catching that."
No, Gene, you're fucking wrong. That wasn't catching.
And just and they'd have Mika Richards just laughing in the background. I'm just happy to be here, to be honest. But yeah, so take your picks of whether he's an American football fan or he was just told to say this line.
Someone fed it in his ear. They were like,
Yeah.
they were like, we've got the NFL games in London coming up, so we need to make an impression for any Americans watching Sky Sports early. Say this thing about American football.
Say the line, Keith. Hard. The worst part was, I believe that was the 5th integration they tried to get a Keith to get NFL in. He just couldn't get the hints.
All right, Keane, what else have you got for us?
Just a small one here that came across. Yeah, I like one. AP Hunter, who plays for the Irish national women's cricket team, became the youngest cricket player to score an international century when Ireland's women's played the Zimbabwean national team in Harare as well. And so she I don't know how much you follow cricket, but she scored 100 runs.
I follow it a lot.
I think she finished on 121. And it just happened to be her 16th birthday.
Jesus
And she was
Christ.
the youngest ever one to get an international century. So that was pretty cool.
What a
for her.
birthday present that is.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
birthday present. Like, I don't
Give
care
a
what
little
you do on your 30th or your 40th.
celebration
Nothing has ever, nothing's ever breaking that.
What were you doing at 16, guys?
Yeah, I know. She was born in 2005. That's the scary part.
Jesus Christ.
Oof. You know
That
it's
would
bad
hurt.
when Oishin says it's young.
Yeah. Oof.
All right. What else did I have? Oh yes, in this week's Let's Shit on Barcelona. Apparently there was a report came out from Spain during the week that when the new Barcelona board were trying to do their due diligence, it got very complicated because they couldn't access any information because the old board deleted all emails every 90 days and all used personal laptops instead of the ones provided by the club.
Oh my god.
And that just
Amazing.
seems really dodgy for trying to keep that information. Like, surely, if it's stuff you need to perform due diligence, you should be taking more care of it.
A little bit.
Can we see those records yet?
Yeah.
What records?
That's
Uh,
amazing.
So fucking funny
It's-
though. I just read
it's
that.
so
and I was like,
funny.
On
Yeah.
the
Oh.
Barcelona thing, I've been wondering this last few weeks, and I can never remember.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, one of our long-time listeners, Kieran, is he a Real Madrid or Barcelona fan?
Oh, you're just offending him now. He's a
Yeah.
Real fan.
Okay, because I was thinking that, because I was like, surely he wouldn't be, because I knew it was one of them. And I was
He
like, surely he
probably-
wouldn't be this on
he's-
board if he
he's
was a
probably-
Barcelona fan.
He's probably loving this weekly shit
Shout
on
out.
Barcelona.
Yeah, yeah, that's the only reason he listens is for his weekly shit on Barcelona.
To be fair, it's also worth pointing out that he gave out to us for shouting him out, and then you've just shouted him out directly. So
Well,
No.
just don't call him old.
I didn't call him old.
I said don't, Keane.
Yeah, I didn't.
Good, because no
Jesus
one should,
Christ.
and no one will.
It's a nice
one's good.
derishing.
No one's gonna call anyone old this episode.
We're just gonna say young.
Actually, to be honest, I feel really old after that fucking piece of news Keane had. So
I know.
karma's a bitch. All right, who else has got more news?
I mean, alright, two big news. We'll go with the small. Stephen Kenny got his first competitive win. 13th
Oh,
time
yeah.
charm.
You love
Against
to
the
see
mighty
it.
Azerbaijan.
Sure, look,
Mighty Azerbaijan.
you'll take what you can get.
Yep.
Um,
It was. I watched it. It was a okay game. Wouldn't say it was our best.
Good
look-
3-0 though.
That's it. We scored goals. There's few good players out there. I saw that. Give me some sort of hope for the next campaign.
Do we think we'll be able to do it again against Qatar on Tuesday?
I don't know. They're going to the World Cup, so I don't know
Yeah.
if we're at that stage yet.
No, but to be fair, Mike, we're only not going to the World Cup because we're boycotting it.
Yes,
Yeah,
'cause
exactly.
yes, that's why. Yep.
That's exactly why.
It's worth
No
noting
other
that,
reasons.
even though we won 3-0, like the stats don't look great.
Really?
No, they did
Yeah.
not.
Azerbaijan had possession for 64%. We had 18 shots and they had 15. We
It's just better. It's more clinical. That's all it is.
that's
that's
literally
it,
all
we
it
just-
was. We had
Yeah, we were
we
more
had
critical.
We had 36% possession.
yeah, we had 8 shots on target. They had 5, and those 3 extra, they're the goals. That's how you know it was a good game.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
Are the goals
feels
any
like
good?
some that feels like some football manager shit right there.
It does. Just a little bit.
The first one was pretty solid. I'll give him that. Callum Robertson's
Mm.
very good call. Second one, horrendous keeping.
Fair. Fair.
And then other big news is, I guess we congratulate France for winning the Euros Nations League.
Just
Oh, I
before
forgot
we
that
do
was
that,
on.
just when
Nope.
we drill into things a bit deeper. I know I was chatting shit about the stats, but 11 of Azerbaijan's shots did come from outside the box. So, yeah, that's still decent defending to force
How
them
many
to
did
take
they
long
have?
shots.
18?
15,
15. Yeah.
and 11 of them were outside the box.
When you put it like that.
Like, credit where
To be
credit's
fair-
due. Do you have to?
To be fair, yeah, they
can't let
didn't
them
want
get
to
into the
score
right
just
positions.
ordinary goals. They were like, "No, we're only scoring screamers. We need to make the news."
Big
Get
market
the
for the
highlight
Scantling
reels going.
fans. But anyway, France.
France won the Euros Nations League.
I didn't
Congrats to
see the
France.
game, but I heard a uproar about Mbappe's goal.
Controversial offside.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Did they
Absolute-
VAR check it and just not see it? Or.
It like brushed off. I didn't like. I from what I saw, it like brushed off Garcia's. Like he didn't intentionally play it.
Mm.
So like I'm not 100%. I didn't see the goal, so I can't talk too much about it. Which
Can't say I watched it either.
No.
hold
I
on.
just
Well,
saw the. Still.
I saw Diddy Haman was going mad about it on Twitter. He was like, if that touch from Garcia makes it onside, then we really need to look at the rules, kind of thing. So it was quite interesting. And actually, I do kind of wish I had seen it.
Yeah, one of us probably should have. I blame Mike for bringing it up and not checking it out.
Oh, without a doubt.
I mean, I just was going to mention the result. I was
You
gonna
also mentioned the goal.
Well, she'd mentioned it first.
Good luck. What are you
I
gonna
still
do?
blame Mike.
That's it. Blame me.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to see if I can find it.
Well, maybe, Keane, instead of napping before the show, you should have watched it.
Hey,
That's
some of
actually
us
a
was
fair
doing
point.
research on the main thing that we were going to talk about. Mike, when's the last time you did any research for this
That
show?
he's got a point there.
I said, episode 1, I would not research anything.
All right, hold on. I've found a highlight. I'm watching it now. I'm watching
Oh.
the goal.
Whose
Live
goal was it?
feed.
Live reaction.
Mbappe.
If Mbappe in the 80th minute to put France 2-1 up. It's a good ball out to the left. I can't see any of their names, so I don't know who it is. Oh, it's a slight touch. And actually, to be fair, like the issue is with
Let's
the
see this.
rule and not with the decision. It does take a touch off Garcia, who does try to play the ball, which means it's not offside.
Offside.
Yeah, by the letter of the law, it's a
Yeah, but-
definite goal.
Oh, yeah, because he's offside from the first pass, but then...
Yeah, I think it's
Doesn't
because
take
the
the touch.
because the defender intentionally tries to play the ball. Then it counts from there. If it had just deflected off him, then he would have been offside. Like if he was just standing still and it had just deflected
Oh,
off
so
him.
if he intentionally touches it, then
Yeah,
it's playing it
so
wrong.
it's because he
I get you.
intentionally went for it. Which I
Right.
think is there's an issue with the
But-
rule there. But at
Yeah,
the
like
same
that's why I
time-
like the way Didi Haman said it, where it's like it's not the referee's fault, it's the rule's fault,
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
interesting.
But I don't know how you change it to to not allow that kind of thing.
Yeah,
You know, it's a very awkward one to legislate for, essentially.
because like when you're the defender there, you can't take that chance.
Yeah.
You can't just hope he's offside or that he misses it. You have to go for it.
So, in that case, Garcia would have been better off if he had tried to play it and just completely missed the ball. He would have looked like a fool, but Mbappe would have been offside. But it's a weird one. It's a very weird one. Anywho,
He is a good finish though,
he took it well.
because it's
Didn't
not an easy finish.
he took it well.
No luck as well. He's sending the keeper the wrong way with the luck the outside.
He's auditioning for Newcastle.
Yeah.
Don't
Speaking
spoil
of
the rest of the
Newcastle-
show.
Yeah, because that's the first time we brought it up. And, does anyone else have any more news?
No. Transition ocean.
All right. Speaking of Newcastle, that's what we're going to talk about today. Is well, we're not just going to talk about Newcastle. To be fair, we're going to discuss their takeover, which wasn't in the news because it is mainly this week's main topic of conversation is that they were purchased by a Saudi-backed company for about 305 million.
Yeah, it just
Pounds?
says 300 million here, what I'm looking at.
I think I have
300 million
305
pounds, yeah.
here, so I think it's over 300, but I'm not sure exactly what the issue is, what the amount is.
301.
The Arsene Wenger technique.
300 million and one back.
But yes, that's what we're going to talk about
Yes.
this week, and essentially the larger issue of oil money in sport, and just
Or even, I found an amazing term today.
go on.
Sportswashing.
Yes, actually, I'm a big fan of the term sports washing.
Good term.
I'm
What
not a big
is it?
fan of sports washing in general, but the term is a good one.
Yeah, it's where regimes,
It's-
like either countries or even companies who have a not a great public image,
They completely whitewash their image through
either bias
sports.
in it to try to whitewash their reputation exactly. So
Ah.
they look cleaner. They look, less human rights abusey.
Yeah,
I
so
mean-
like Qatar because the way
Hey,
Qatar
does
are
that not
using
just
PSG
backfire for
and the
Qatar?
World Cup.
Yeah, has that not just backfired for Qatar?
Yeah.
It's like, ooh.
A bit, but like,
People are still going to like.
yeah.
I seen a very interesting thing on it where they compared it to Russia in 2018, where before the games kicked off, there was so much news
That's the thing. Like, yeah,
coverage on,
yeah.
but the second
Yeah.
the football kicked off,
it's
that
all
stopped.
about the football then.
Yeah,
and no
so
one
in
cares
Qatar's
about
mind-
what happened before.
Once they get that first game kicked off, it's all fine.
Yeah,
Then it's all gravy from there.
I mean, it works to an extent for a number of countries. Saudi Arabia have been doing it for years with City and other investments into sport.
Yeah, I think
Like
yeah.
China, I think we're doing it for a while, but they've pulled back. The Chinese government have brought in legislation, I think, to stop Chinese investors investing in clubs outside of China because they want to try and increase their
Their own football league.
domestic league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
But it's sports washing is a fantastic term.
There's a few obviously there's a lot of the Middle Eastern countries, the oil-rich ones who are getting involved. Like you have a lot of UAE and Qatar, and now Saudi Arabia, and even a bit like you could go back as far as Abramovich, kind of
Yes.
with he was technically oil money.
I mean,
He
was
was
the
he was
first,
the
really.
first essentially.
He was the first one. But like
Well,
there's
first
some
high profile where it's like they're just going to use money.
yeah where they just went, okay, we
Pump-
have no cap
pump
limit.
out
We're
the
just
money.
going to buy this and just
I
buy
got
all the best
success.
players. Yeah.
We're pointing out. So I just the name of the
But there
consortium
was
who were
some
taking
weird
over.
BBC News did.
What was that?
What was that, Kim?
Oh, I was just saying that the anything I've seen on this, the Newcastle fans all seemed happy about it, very happy about it.
I think it's more a case of Ashley's gone.
Yeah, that's
yeah, I
definitely
think
part
that's
of
part
it.
of the issue.
But like I was watching a BBC interview with like the head of like their fans fund or something like that there, and he was saying, "Oh, the supporters, when big takeovers like this happen, the supporters have no say. We're just innocent bystanders." And I was like, "Yeah, but you're still celebrating it.
Yeah, fair. And you're still going to support it. But I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Like,
you're
if you
not
weren't
gonna-
equal
you're not
with it.
going to you're not going to not support it. But also, it's not that like it came out of nowhere. Like
No, it
this
started
was
last year,
supposed to
didn't
have happened last year, and then they got
And it
into
was-
a legal dispute. I think essentially with Qatar were pushing back against it because I think essentially there was something to do with the streaming. Of,
Yes, I did hear
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Yes, so I
that
think
they
Qatar
don't-
had the rights, and then it was being pirated by a channel, some channel in Saudi Arabia, who were then
just
like
copying the image.
just streaming out the Qatari broadcast and just not paying for it. So there was a huge thing, a huge dispute that only got settled. So the consortium is PIF, PCP Capital Partners,
Yeah.
and Orbi Sports and Media. And
And they're-
apparently,
Like 50% owned by the Saudi Arabian government."
yes, but the Premier League has apparently received legally binding assurances that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia will not control Newcastle. But I mean,
They
That's
just control the
there's,
fund that
yeah,
controls
there's
the
ways
hassle.
around that, so
Yeah.
it's surely useless.
Yeah, I don't like.
That's it. The owner of Newcastle is technically now a pigeon.
100%, but the
It's one of
richest
these
pigeon
now.
in the world.
That's it. No. He's making the decisions. We feed birdseed. That's it.
Yeah. How would you feel if
If
this
If-
happened to Liverpool?
oh yeah,
The Saudi Arabians buying Liverpool
I mean,
and
see,
human
there's
rights
there's
abuses and not equality.
yeah.
I'm very ready to disagree with Mike here because I'm
Whichever side Mike
not
takes,
sure
the
which
Fed's
way
up.
he's gonna go, and just
I've-
in case, I'm
At
very
the same time, I'd be disappointed, but it's my club, and I'd still support my club, not the owners.
That's fair.
yeah.
That's
All
fair.
right, I'm not gonna
Like-
disagree with that. Yeah,
Like when the the Super League thing was announced, and the owners wanted to do it, I was still a Liverpool supporter. I wasn't the supporter of the owners, but I was a supporter of my club.
but you're
That's
able
fair.
to support a club and go against what
Yeah.
the owners.
Oh, 100%.
So like, I would I would support the club, but I wouldn't be happy with the owners.
Yeah, that would be an interesting topic actually if we do the pros and cons of a middle oil money run club compared to an American owned club, an Americanization compared to just overspending on the oil money.
Sports washing.
Yes, sports washing, which is the less evil of the two.
100% the
One is
Americanization.
very
Yeah,
less
yeah.
evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, very less evil.
Humanity reasons, yes, but in terms of sports reasons, we're talking
be
purely
honest.
sports.
Still gotta go. The Americanization is much less of an issue. I just can't get behind sports washing.
Is England the perfect breeding ground for these types of clubs?
I would
where
think
they
so,
have, like,
yeah.
Probably the biggest reach in the
base.
world,
Yeah,
while
Yeah,
also having very little financial control.
Oh, I would say 100%. Yeah. Like this couldn't happen in Germany because of the 50+1
The
system.
50+1, yeah. Because actually, it's
Yeah.
funny. I was looking at this, and apparently Qatar are one of Bayern Munich's main sponsors, and they even go to Qatar.
Yeah,
I think at Christmas, and the Bayern Munich fans have made it very clear that they're not happy about that.
yeah, and they have a much bigger say because of the way
The
the
50+1.
because of the way the club is structured.
yeah.
No,
Whereas,
that's yeah.
like, if that was a thing in one of the English clubs, say like Newcastle now start doing every winter break going to Saudi Arabia for 2 weeks and huge stuff like that. I wonder, even if the fans didn't like it and started to protest against it, like what would actually happen? Because they don't really have a say.
No, like
To a point, you stop spending your money, but they're like big clubs like this. There's always going to be someone who's going to pay for the ticket
they're
or
always
get a jersey.
get a jersey, and TV rights are always going to be a massive thing because they're
Yeah,
not getting
exactly.
relegated anytime soon. They're going to be a very watched team in English football now.
Yeah.
And prize money, the Premier League prize money is huge, even just for
and
even for mid
Champions
teams.
League, then you kind
Yeah,
of see them leading into that. Like it'll be
interesting to see. All right,
because I think they are now technically.
What was that?
They are the richest football club in the world now, Newcastle, I think, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I believe so.
I think
Which is
I saw
insane.
something like their owners. I saw a rank of the owners' wealth, and I think City is at like 30 or 40 billion, and Newcastle's now is at like 300 billion. That's
300
just
billion, yeah.
miles ahead.
It's just it's
I
it's an
did
amount
see-
of money that's just you can't
Mhm.
understand it,
No.
that much money.
Yeah. I did see it was there, and it is an interesting story because I don't keep on it up. It reminds me of the story when the first takeover attempt was made. Graham Souness actually came out and said this is the same group that tried to buy Liverpool a few years ago. And
Oh,
Fenway
yeah.
Sports Group said they weren't interested in selling.
I
I
didn't
forgot
know
about
that.
that, to be honest.
Like they proper met with Graham Souness and all, and were talking about it. And were like, yeah, well, what's the club like and all this? Started
Is
putting in
he
the bid.
is Souness involved with Liverpool?
He's an ambassador kind of thing, you know.
Oh, I get you. Yeah, yeah. No, that's fair.
But FSG were having none of it.
Yeah, yeah. That's interesting
Um,
because a fund like that just legitimately whatever number you want in the
Yeah,
billions
pretty much.
to get Liverpool if they
Yeah.
wanted. So
yeah.
that's very surprising. I wouldn't have
Um,
thought that they would be as attached to Liverpool as that.
And what do you think of the reports that the new owners are going to sack Steve Bruce this week?
I mean, I feel that was gonna happen. I think Steve Bruce knows it's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
What could he? Just imagine what he could do with 190 million in January, though.
Oh,
Steve
what
Bruce
could he do?
survive, like just
You,
as
Timo
many central
Pukki,
defenders.
70 million. Let's go.
You'd
To be
love
fair,
see
that's it. Does he just buy every team's best player that is below him currently in the Premier League, and just
Yeah,
take them all
that's-
and bring them to Newcastle
So
and buy
just
his way to safety
just Norwich. He takes Norwich.
and many more?
Well, you said every team below him. That's Norwich.
Yeah, that's fair.
Is it just Norwich?
Yeah, I'm looking at the table. They're 19th and Norwich are 20th.
So just Norwich.
So they
then,
just
yeah.
buy Timo Pukki for 190 million.
I mean, Jack Grealish went for 100 million. Is Timo Pukki?
I mean,
Timo Pukki's worth a lot less.
I don't know.
Timo
no.
Pukki-
Only 90 million. I could say.
Let's be honest. Timo Pukki had one good month at the start of 2 years ago, and everyone lost their shit. He was the next greatest thing, and
gotta
he's
go,
gone downhill.
Steve Bruce is going to just go all Godfather on it and make him an offer he can't refuse.
To be fair,
Yeah,
do you
that's
think
what
with the
I'm
payoff,
concerned
Steve
about.
Bruce might be actually be able to fix his nose?
Oof.
Oof, Mike.
That's just mean. We don't.
You
what did
taking
we
an
talk about?
anti-bullying?
Yeah, what did we talk about last week, Mike? No bullying.
Yeah, well, that is not true. You bullied someone already today.
No, he didn't. I specifically said not to.
I feel like I probably did bully someone today, but I don't remember it.
Ah, there we go. Classic Keen.
Yeah.
Keane's such a prick. What? I'm sorry. What? Oh yeah, no, I'm
Steve Bruce
not
by
acknowledging
Timo
that
Pukki.
anymore. I saw Antonio Conte said he'd be interested in the job, but there is apparently some strict requirements. I didn't see what they were.
But does it not? Is there not like a transition period first?
Normally,
No.
like, I honestly, yeah. Like, well,
'Cause-
if they get
alright,
an interim manager now, do they have to see him out till the end of the year, or can
No, they don't have
hire
to.
someone new? No.
They could hire someone new.
Yeah.
like
They're apparently gonna hire Graham Jones as caretaker. I don't know who he is though. I don't know if he's like their, what you call it, like under 23 manager or what the story is.
you think they'll just wait to the year and just go to Mourinho with another chance at England with unlimited funds?
Would he want to come back?
Oh, he's
Oh,
an
sorry,
assistant
Graham-
coach for Newcastle.
He,
I mean-
he managed Luton Town for a season, and that's his only managerial experience.
Mourinho loves living in England,
Yeah,
specifically
was,
London. But
yeah. I mean,
was
he's quite
a-
far from London in Newcastle.
yeah, I know. But
True.
he spent a good bit at United at a hotel, so he can do the commute thing if needs be, as he was
But I
committed at
think
United to
he
it.
fucking did you like he just looked so much happier like as soon as he left United, and he wasn't living in a hotel on his own.
That's true.
Like, do you really think he's gonna go back to that?
Or
Yeah,
will
that-
Pep
no.
go?
Pep to Newcastle.
Hear me out here, because one of Pep's
Be an
biggest
interesting one.
criticisms. Pep's biggest criticism at a manager is he's only done it at teams that were already established as the dominant team in that country. Barcelona, Bayern, and City.
So you're saying the next step up for him is
It's
to take a
clearly
country.
Newcastle.
It's clearly
Yes.
Newcastle and not Norwich. Not
Yeah.
anyone else without the money.
Yes, that's it. Baby steps for
be-
Pep.
I'd
Baby
be
steps for
confident
Pep.
that if
Pep
you give
goes from
me
one
the Newcastle
sportswashing
job,
club to
I'd
another.
win the league in 3 years. Just saying.
Ah, I like your style, Keane. 3 years. I could do it in 2.
Take me a year to get acclimatized, to understand. I'm just gonna watch.
Honestly, though, like that's a football manager to say of starting.
Fuck, what can I
Wait and
watch
tap
play for me?
What?
What you call that American show that I can never remember the name of?
Ted
The soccer
Lasso?
one. Ted Lasso. Just gonna go out Ted Lasso on them. just stick a big believe sign out there. Keep slapping it every day. Eventually they'll learn.
Also, Keane, I was re-listening to some of the pod. You always said you were a United fan, right?
Yes.
Is that a Newcastle United?
fan?
And you're coming out
It
now.
might be now,
It's always
yeah.
been Newcastle.
Yeah.
It's always Newcastle.
It's
check
always
pods.
Newcastle United.
My one true
Definitely
love,
wasn't
Newcastle.
Sheffield United.
Like if you were, I've always noticed you had a sheriff tattoo in your left arm.
Yeah.
Newcastle one on your right.
Sheriff one's still wet though from 2 weeks ago, you know.
And a giant, that's it. And a giant Goran Pandev on the back.
Yeah, the big back tat.
It's just Goran Pandev's face. I'm delighted to see Mike Ashley gone though.
Ah,
Not a
so
fan.
much.
No.
Why did
No,
they hate him?
he's-
I did read that they did hate him, but it's
It's-
just
Like all he did was take money out of that club.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Oh,
and
fair.
he kept saying, I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna leave," and they were like, "Well, leave then." Just it was like, he was trying to sell the club, but was not taking offers that suited him, and he was waiting for the best deal he could get, which he eventually got. So fair play to him, but he was putting minimal effort into the club, and the club was just stagnant. And
like I can only imagine how difficult it is to sell a
That
Premier League
was-
team now compared to kind of 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah,
that
there's
was
so
one of the
much money,
reasons
sure.
Rafa left. Was he was told all these
Ah.
things, and it just wasn't happening, and he was like, "All right, I'm done."
Didn't they sack
I
him?
can't. Well, it was I think it was.
There
a
is
bust
one
up.
thing that I've
Yeah,
seen thought process
Go on.
is where do these teams go afterwards? Like, who the fuck is ever going to buy these lads out of Newcastle? Is this just it? They're just in Newcastle now for evermore men. Say with any of the oil-rich ones like City, Chelsea, who's ever going to be able to afford to buy them? Are they just
They're in
Are
it
they
for
just
the,
done?
I assume they're in it for the long haul.
But
Because
yeah.
like,
It's just
the longer
yeah.
you spend, the longer you spend sports washing your country, the more you can get away with. I assume.
True. I mean, yeah.
Like it depends. Like we haven't seen yet what happens to the likes of Chelsea when Abramovich is gone. City
Yeah.
with the thing.
Like, yeah, it's just it's
Actually,
weird.
hang on. There is one
Was there?
team. Let me just check where they are. Anzi. You don't remember Anzi?
Anzi Mekaleka.
The team that had gave. Yeah, that's the exact team. What happened to Anzi? They once had a lot of money and spent
Did
it
they?
all, and yet they signed Eto to a giant contract.
Oh, I remember they signed Eto.
Suleiman Kiev, who was worth 9.8 billion, took control.
Good old Seto Kaiba.
Abramovich has been owner of Chelsea since 2003.
Yeah.
Like, it's impressive he's been around that long.
I remember when that happened. It was the biggest thing since sliced bread.
It did.
And they had the Chelsea's first Premier League in 50 years. Is it really
it
though?
did change. It changed football. In fairness,
It did.
Was
Like-
sliced bread really that big a deal when it first came out?
No, actually, it wasn't because people didn't have ways of keeping the air out, so it gone stale quicker.
Yeah.
But it's just the expression.
Why though? Why? Is
Yeah,
it
I don't
just
really
the
understand that. Surely shit like lightning would be
Yeah. I don't know.
Cat's
more
pajamas.
lightning. Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Do cats even wear
Do
pajamas?
cats wear pajamas? The bee's knees? Do bees have knees? Who knows? It's all one big.
that's just the goose that laid the golden egg, isn't it? Though.
The dog's bollocks. Is that
Oh.
really good?
It's all just one big conspiracy.
Oh, we're gonna break this all down. We're gonna get
I'm
to
not
the
gonna
bottom
lie.
of it.
I'm trying to find where Anzi are currently. There's not
They're
much info.
sixth in Russian Professional Football League Group 1.
There
But
you
no,
go.
that's where they finished last year.
Is that the Premier?
No.
No.
The
No.
rise and fall of Anzi.
Yeah.
It's like their first division, I think. No, it's like their third division.
And what a fall it's been.
Yeah. Probably all that money didn't help.
I think the owner did he just back out, and it just was like they had all these incredible contracts, and it was like, what
I
are we
mean,
gonna
probably.
do now?
It's also worth noting that if you go through on Google that table. Anzi and one other team in the 4 groups. Oh, hold on. Even more groups. How does this work? This is so fucking weird. Only 2 teams throughout all those groups have badges on Google. That's how you know it's bad. But also, the Russian PA, this goes Group 1, Group 2, Group 1, Group 2, Group 2, Group 3, Group 2, Group 3, Group 1,
No.
Group 4.
Yes, I can see.
Oh, he's back. He's back. Okay.
Absolute nonsense.
Sorry, what was that? We heard none of that.
Oh, that's fine, because the people at home heard it. I was going through the
Got it.
groups for the Russian PFL. So
Yes.
you've got Group 1, Group 2,
Yes.
Group 1, Group 2, Group 2, Group 3, Group 2, Group 3, Group 1, and Group 4.
That sounds so much worse than anything I've ever heard of in my life.
Yeah, I
It
don't
sounds
understand.
a lot more. It's a lot
why
more
it's like
complicated
that.
than Series C.
Yeah, Series
Also-
C was unnecessarily complicated.
There's a team in Group 2, Group 1, when everyone else has played 11, 12, 13 games. Smolensk have played 0.
Is now, hang on, is that because they in Smolensk it's really is it weather related and they just physically cannot play
I
their
don't
games?
know. They haven't played a game since the 28th of July when they lost
That does
in the
that does
the
remind
Russian
me,
Cup second round on penalties. 7-6 on penalties.
that does remind me of actually this. Let's see, another thing of the craziness of Anzi was where the team trained and where all the players lived was like hundreds of miles away from where the stadium was. They actually had to
What?
fly their home games. Like it was like a 2-hour flight to get to their home games
Jesus Christ.
because Anzi was in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, that's very fair. Yeah, so
Yeah.
in 2011 they were purchased by Dagestani billionaire Suleiman Kerimov.
Oh, Gus
Nice.
Hiddink managed them for a while.
Oh,
Do you remember they signed striking sensation Chris Samba from Blackburn? He was every fancy Premier League player's dream. As for the last 10 minutes of games, they just stick him up front, and he was a defender.
geez, they even signed Roberto Carlos. Lads, come on now. Yeah, he sold the club Christmas 2016, so he was there for a while. I don't think they seem to do much.
No, just it was an experiment that didn't work.
Yeah.
But obviously, with this whole Newcastle takeover and the money, and everyone's going on with this January is just going to be ridiculous signings. I think it'll be more just improving to get maybe a slow transition up to thing. I don't think it'll just be straight off the bat. Here's all the best players in the world.
Well, I mean,
yeah, like
it's-
they're never that like.
Like, I'm looking here, Chelsea. Now, Chelsea's a bit of a under Abramovich. It's okay, yeah. They kind of bought a lot of players. So under Abramovich's first year, they signed Glenn Johnson
Solid.
from West Ham for 6 million, Jeremy from Real Madrid for 7 million, Damien Duff for Blackburn Rovers 17 million, Wayne Bridge for 7 million, Juan Sebastian Veron for 15 million.
Oh, Veron, what a lad.
Joe Call for 6.6, Mutu for 15, Alex Merton for 3.5, Hernan Crespo 16 million, Makalele 16 million, and Scott Parker for 10. So it totaled 121 million.
Yeah, like they
His
bought a
first
lot,
year.
but none of them would have been the highest of high quality. Like
Makalele was
yeah,
arguably
there's-
the best player.
two of the later ones you said there were
Duff
Not
was top
Duff.
quality.
Jeff was like good, yeah, but he wouldn't have been a world beater. He'd been, very good.
Makalele, Crespo would be the two
At the
world
time.
beaters.
It's also worth
I'd
pointing
say.
out, though, that the January transfer window is notoriously quiet.
Yeah,
Like, it's very difficult to make any transfers during January.
yeah. And
So
then
either
if we
they're going
compare
to
that,
overspend for a couple of players, or they're just not going to get anyone in January and
Like,
just
if we
spend it all
compare
in the
that-
summer.
to City, which is a more recent
I always remember they bought Robinho with one of their first ones.
Yes, Robinho was the first. 32 million. That was the marquee signing of the money.
Yeah.
Then it was Nigel de Jong.
Surely in January they have to get players to guarantee they're in the Premier League next year.
Yeah. Nigel de Jong was another 17 million.
Oh yeah.
Craig Bellamy for 14 million.
Was Tevez the first year, or when was he? Was he good?
Tevez was the year after.
After, yeah, fair.
Wayne
Well,
Bridge
that
makes
hurt
the
me
list
so
again.
much. Oh, no, Wayne
So,
Bridge.
is Wayne Bridge going to Newcastle? Who knows?
Wonder what he's up to these days.
Shane Giffen was bought with the Arab money.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, that's right.
And yeah,
He was their backup for a while. Was
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they're able to do both in January and then in the summer transfer window. What changes
Yeah.
they make to that team? Do they upgrade from the legends of John Joe Shelby and
I
You
tell
know.
you who's really excited about this deal going through.
who?
Barcelona are now just flirting with Newcastle saying, do you want him? Do you want him? Do you want him? We'll give you all these players. Just give us money, please.
I did
anything."
see reports that they were actually keeping an eye on a number of Barcelona players, which is quite interesting.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Me neither, to be honest. Like,
This
if you could
Gillette
get some of them on
was-
the cheap. But yeah, it'll be interesting.
Do you know
The-
who should
the-
come back and
who?
manage them?
Who?
Kevin Keegan.
Oh, what a man!
He can then finally get his Premier League medal for Newcastle, which he failed to do in the mid-90s and nearly did. Didn't they blow away like a massive lead to United in like 93 or 94?
Oh,
I did.
I would fucking love it
Yeah, if
If
we
he-
beat
Love it.
them.
if he comes back and wins the Premier League. Yeah, no, it'll be interesting though. I think
Yeah.
the issue now though is that they're going to be linked with any football player with a pulse. It's just going to be linked to
Yes.
Newcastle for the
So
next
Can
one.
kick a ball about.
So, big question. How long till you see your first Newcastle jersey out in the streets?
That's a fair
Yeah,
point.
very
actually.
soon.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised.
All the kids who were born in the mid-2010s are now all Newcastle fans.
That's it. City Stadium just got a whole
Mid-20
lot empty.
To be fair though, I think Newcastle were a relatively widely supported club before Mike Ashley took over, and then it all went to shit. I believe.
Like, don't get me wrong, they're still one of the biggest clubs in England.
Yeah.
Everybody. It's not. It's a lot different to City, and to an extent, Chelsea weren't as big as Newcastle was
No,
when
like,
Abramovich brought.
I can't remember, like, yeah, like, they're both kind of, like, mid-lower level, like,
Newcastle were like top.
sustained.
They kind of were fighting for that top four slot for a
No,
while
but I mean,
in the
like,
early 2000s.
Chelsea and City, when they
Yeah.
both got taken over, they're both kind of established Premier
Yes.
League teams at that point, but they
Yeah.
weren't anything major.
Yeah.
City were a bottom table team, I think, though, weren't they?
They were like not. I don't think they were like in relegation
think they're-
trouble, but they weren't.
They were just mid-table.
good.
They were
Yeah,
just sitting
a lower
between the
mid-table
10th to
team.
15th
Yeah,
kind of
So
range.
what
That's what I
year?
would've said.
What year did they get taken over?
2000. I have it here actually. I was
Ooh,
looking at the
like
list.
2010-ish.
2008, 2009 under
Yeah.
Mark Hughes.
All right, hold on. Google only goes back to 2014, 2015.
So what do we do? 2006, 2007.
Yeah.
Yeah, City finished 14th.
In 0506, City finished 15th. It's like they were a bottom half the table team.
Yeah,
Uh,
they were only 5 points clear of the drop zone. Like, yeah, they were what they were. I do enjoy, when people make fun of Man City when they're like, Lampard. Was Lampard in charge of Chelsea, or was that just a joke?
No,
And
No, he
Solskjaer's
was
in
in
charge of United.
I mean, it was a bit of
He
a
was-
joke, but he was in charge of
Yeah,
Chelsea
but-
for a while.
And they're like, who would then be the City legend who'd be in charge of City? Richard Dunn. I always got so annoyed at how bad they treated him. The way he was like, they're like player of the year for 7 years. That was annoyed me.
Well, in fact,
That's fair.
Vince's company now, he was signed 10 days before the takeover was made, so he is technically not bought with the Arabs' money.
He's an OG.
That's actually that's good to know.
There are two exceptions that were bought. There's another key City player that was bought. This one was signed on the eve of the takeover in Pablo Zabaleta.
That's really interesting, though, that the owner would let them make those signings. Most likely knowing
yeah.
that they were about to sell the club.
Yes.
I would assume
6
that there was
million
a
and
bit
7
of a,
million.
we need to, like, I assume that was discussed with the potential new managers. I
Yeah.
can't say how it wouldn't be.
I assume it would have. Had
Did
to
you ever
be.
hear the story Mark Hughes said about when he was the first meeting he had with the Arab owners when they were discussing the transfer plan?
No.
No.
They were listing all
Oh,
these
yes.
players.
Yeah,
They're
sorry, yeah,
listing
go,
all
go,
these-
go, yeah.
Listing all these players and like, yeah, we'll get him. Yeah, we'll put him. And Mark Hughes said, "Oh, this is gonna be Messi." And then one of the guys goes, "Yes, Messi, we'll get him too."
Yeah, that's great.
Um, just because you were talking about Keane about all the young kids from the mid 2000s buying Newcastle shirts, I just saw Paddy Power News tweet or posted revealed 89% of Man City fans already shopping for Newcastle shirts.
Yes, yes,
So
phenomenal. Get one of
Fairly
those
on
half
top
and
of
half
things.
shirts with Newcastle and City on it.
oh, lovely.
I mean, do they not do the deal? I know they used to
Half
do
and
it
half
where you
shorts
traded
as
your
well.
old. Do you not trade in your old jersey and then replace it with a new
The
one?
new one, the upgraded version.
Like,
I know, like they, yeah.
like you know when they have those photos of kids in Africa with like Debbie's hen party and all
Oh, no,
this
Mike.
T-shirts. How many of them are going to be City jerseys now? For the new one.
Could you imagine if
The,
Newcastle went and bought Harry Kane now?
That's actually a huge shout.
Not a bad possibility, like, to be fair.
They could pay the money.
That's a statement of intent, though. If you're getting a player that City couldn't get, you're like, that's a fuck you to City.
Has he
And
scored
that's
yet
what
this
we're
year?
here.
I haven't checked
He's
my
been
fantasy.
he's been
He's-
absolutely shocking.
Yeah. Like, if anything, it's a win for Levy. He gets his money,
Yeah.
and he screws Harry
Yeah,
Kane
true.
over in the end.
But also he's up for a Ballon d'Or apparently. So
That's a shame.
what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
He's played 6 matches so far, 0 goals, 0 assists, 2 yellow cards, which is actually 1 yellow card more than he got the entirety of last season. Fun facts. And we're only 6 games in. Yeah, he's had a shocking start to the season though. So to finish things off as the final part of this episode, we'll go. What is oil money in football good or bad for the sport as a whole? Mike, we'll go to you first.
I'd say overall it's a bad thing for the sport, as it's an unfair advantage to a select few teams, and any problem a normal team has, a progression or trying to develop players, we don't need to do any of that. We'll just buy our problem and try and fix it that way, and it's not a thing every team has access to do.
Fair. Keen, your opinion?
I think it's a good thing for Newcastle and a bad thing for everybody else.
Oh, the pump fake.
Oh,
Don't know why
I mean,
I'm certain that Mike would say the other line on that.
typical
Sold me
classic
down the
Newcastle
river.
fan. Classic Newcastle fan. Already defending it.
I have to say, when you said I think it's a good thing, I was like, he's going for just the contrarian opinion there against Mike, but I'm so in to see what his reasoning is.
No, like
Yeah, no,
it's very appealing,
Yes.
but I think it is just for that, like the health of the game.
yeah, that's fair.
Probably bad.
That's very fair. I'm going to say I'm going to say the same. Obviously, it's not good for the sport. It's sport washing in general is not.
Need to be
Great.
more aware.
It's a great term, but yeah, I think.
Gotta wake up, sheeple.
um,
You're the problem.
If people didn't care about sports, there'd
I mean, yeah, no.
be no sports washing. We should.
We should just not care about sports at all.
That's it. Follow the example of the Irish football team and abandon the World Cup.
Yeah.
They're heroes, the lot of them.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't see a way out of it now. I think it's embedded itself into the sport, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, on that note, on that depressing note, we'll leave it there. Unless anyone has anything else they want to say before we finish up.
No, I think we're.
See you in London.
Oh,
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. We hope to bring you this next week's episode from London.
Live.
We'll see.
Well,
No,
we'll
fuck
see
off
Mike
if you're
in London.
live. We'll see Mike in London.
It'll also be the first time we record in the same room, hopefully.
Fingers crossed, if it works.
Otherwise, we'll get 3 hotel rooms and I don't know. We'll work from there.
That's it, go from there.
We'll just all bring our laptops
Yeah.
instead of just me. Grant. We'll leave it there. So, cheers for listening and feed the algorithm. Fuck the system as well.